Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are working on finishing up our constructions of our hyperlane routes, and those are going to be done quite soon, actually. Eolma Prime currently needs housing. Is this just due to devastation? This is probably just due to devastation. I'm going to put in an industrial district here. It's not strictly speaking necessary, but it'll stave off the problem for a little bit. Now, Ariga Prime needs a job, but this is that ruler demotion. That is absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever there, and we are ready to proceed. Now, we're full on astral threads, but there's really not anything we want to spend those on, so that's fine. We can definitely think about leveling up our next Federation perk. Actually, we got it. We got to level 4 on the Federation. Okay, so that looks great. Now, we have an archaeological site pending, and we get some minor artifacts out of that. That seems good. I do want to continue working on getting our defense platforms queued up, but we need a lot of alloys to make that happen, right? So that is going to take a little bit of time. And we do have relic activations available. We should probably get the rubricator on cooldown right now. So that'll create us 500 minor artifacts, and we're going to need those. So that sounds great. I want to come in here, and this guy is in charge of the ISS Clever Clam. So we probably want to go for something like Scholar. And this guy's our prime forecaster, but we're going to do the same. He's in charge of the ISS Nimble Nautilus 2 for right now. So that looks magnificent. Now, there are definitely things that we can do here. I would like to boost up our number of battleships. Our number of battleships is very low. But we also need to get Titans going, right? That's 55 months out. Still, this is going to take a long time. So that is absolutely understood. Quite lengthy. Well, this tech world here requires a job. This is now a specialist unemployment. Actually, I think this is a different specialist at this point. So that's fine. We could definitely put in a research lab here. It's a tech world, so that seems fine. So this tech world here, of course, this is the same situation. When does this guy demote? Hang on. 20 days. Okay, so that's about to go away. Absolutely wonderful. Euchromia 3 is an agro world, and do we want it to be an agro world? To be honest, I kind of don't. I think we should pivot this. We already have 3 industrial districts here, so I think that we should switch this over to being an industrial world. And that, of course, means we're going to need a Ministry of Production, and we're also going to need a civilian industry and an alloy foundry. Then, I want to replace all of these current agriculture districts. I want to replace those with industrial districts. Okay, something like that. That'll keep that planet busy for a while. And that will drop off our production of food a little bit, but that's fine. We've got other places that are absolutely going to ramp up the food production, and that seems good. Like, where was it? I think it was Asian Prime here, or it was one of these. One of these somewhat newer worlds that was just going to absolutely pump out ridiculous numbers of food. I'm not sure where it went right now, but we definitely have one. So we can sell off a little bit of food here, and our energy credits are actually very close to maxed. I'm going to use those to buy in some alloys. The price is okay, but that's going to go away very soon. We're just going to do that, pump that price right on up. So that looks good. Okay, now we're going to come over to Voldop Station, and we're going to queue up a few more Fire Coral class defense platforms. That's now done. So Spica Station, we don't need anything at for now. That's a trade hub. But we absolutely do need to get a bunch of defense platforms in these 5 stations. We're now about halfway done building our defense platforms, which is, of course, not a lot. We have a long ways to go on these defense platforms. But let's just get that started. Astral Rift event is pending here. Oh, okay. So plus 10 Unity and Physics research to the Astral Rift in Radar Central. That was the Crystal Rift. And what do we want? We wanted this guy to do something. Didn't we? Yes. We wanted to start doing natural wormhole explorations. So to that end, I'm going to jump drive over to Chavash. Wonderful. So that'll be fine. We'll arrive there shortly. And once we do, I want to... What? No. Jump drive to Chavash. I was shift clicking, and apparently that canceled the jump drive. Wait. No, I have the transport fleet selected right now. Stop it. Okay. There we go. Now we want to explore this natural wormhole. That's going to give us access to this trinary system, and we'll see what's in there. So that'll be absolutely wonderful. And then we'll see where some of these other wormholes go and see what we actually need. So yeah, that's, as I said, going to give us access to this system here. Ooh, a massive being of pure energy in this system. So there's a psionic entity here. Okay. Noted. In that case, we're going to head down and explore this natural wormhole down in Weedbaril. So that looks good, and the ISS Wave Skimmer 2 is idle, so we're going to head over to Piscus and build a hyper relay there. That looks wonderful. And we should send at least one of these down. Maybe both. That is a terrible route to take. Why would you take this route? No. Just go this way. So we go to Spica. Well, specifically, we're going to have to do it like this. This is really awkward. So we're going to have to travel through the hyper relay to Spica. Then we're going to have to travel through the hyper relay. Well, that queues them up going to here, though. Okay. This is really annoying. We're going to have to manually order them to travel here, braving hyper relay to Radar Central. Okay. Wait, did these guys get different orders? Why are you braving the hyper relay and you're moving to the Spica system? I bet it's because this guy is a Storm Rider. And this guy is not. I bet that's why we're getting a different message there. Okay. But we're going to have to order each and every one of these jumps manually, which is insane, by the way. Okay, so these guys are now in position here. And now we want them to travel through this to Ojlars, which, again, we're going to have to manually order. This is not... Why are you going to orbit of Spica Station? No. I told you to travel through the hyper relay. There you go. This is really obnoxious, the way that the pathfinding works with storms, and I really hope that Paradox fixes this. Okay, so we need to travel through the hyper relay here down to Eolum. Okay. So we're going to do that, and this second fleet here is going to arrive shortly. Since apparently they get different orders, for some reason, when they're both selected. The Numistic Order has been destroyed. Okay, that's fine. This migration treaty is going to be declined, and the Molernok Star Corp joined the Mutual Assistance Pact. That's fine. We're just waiting for this fleet to pop through. There we go. Now they can go to Eolum. And down here... Are we out of the storm now? Yes, we're now out of the storm. So now we can issue a normal order to head to the Chavash wormhole. Okay. Insane. The way that pathfinding works with hyper relays is nuts. I really wish there was a way to toggle that. That would be amazing. Okay, what do we want to go for our head of research? Research speed for materials sounds pretty decent, actually. So the ISS Wave Skimmer 3 needs to be moving here, and we're going to have it come down over this way. We found out where this wormhole goes. It goes to the Zeritan Citizen Alliance. So that's not that much of a concern. I'm still going to build a station here. But it's definitely good to know. Okay, what other what other natural wormholes do we have here? So we know that there is an L gate over here, which we're not interested in dealing with just yet. There's a wormhole up over in Waga. So let's go explore that. Okay, yeah, that path makes sense. I'm okay with that path. So our fleets should be arriving up here fairly soon, and we're going to take out that psionic entity. That looks wonderful. And our astral threads here, we're going to be able to spend these eventually. So that also sounds fine. Now, as far as up here goes, we know that we have a wormhole in Azeroth. And the question is, where does that connect to, right? So we've got a couple of potential wormholes that we need to defend here, one in Waga and one in Azeroth. And we'll just see where those go and build up defenses as necessary. So that sounds wonderful. Ariga is, of course, continuing to finish up its constructions, which is absolutely expected. We are working on the Markaz station right now, and we've managed to get like 12 defense platforms queued up. We can get a couple more, but for now, that's about all we can do. Okay, so that all seems fine. I want to check in on our jobs here. So this agro world requires some additional... Well, we require additional employment here. And the only real answer here is a hydroponics farm. So we're going to get that put in. What is going on out over here? Space amoebas. Ah, okay. Noted. Well, we've got this tech world here, and I would love to put in a city district for right now. We could use a building slot there. The ISS Salty Squid is in Ebenar, and we want to go build in Moscot, which we will definitely do. And our two military fleets are idling in Chavash at this point, so we're just going to jump them through this wormhole. They'll arrive simultaneously and begin fighting the psionic entity. Excellent. It's got a lot of shields, and we're going to have a slightly awkward time taking those shields out. But now that we're through the shields, it should go quite quick. So the entity has been silenced. Fantastic. So now we're going to head back to Radar Central, and I am not taking this path. We're just going to jump drive them back to Radar Central, like so.
Handshake protocols activated.
Excellent. So that looks good. Migration treaty, we're going to decline. And we are, of course, going to build reinforcements for these fleets, but we'll wait till we're in system. There we go. Now we'll get these queued up. We're just lacking a couple of reinforcements here. Sure. So let's make our way on back. We definitely took some damage there, and you can see we're quite low in our military power because we just jump drived them. That jump drive will be on cooldown for a while. That's why we went out there the normal way, and then we came back slightly differently. Okay, excellent. So I would love to continue to reinforce this fleet. We are, of course, lacking alloys at this moment, which is not shocking in the slightest. We'll get all of this finished up very, very soon. So Wheat Baril is going to need to be brought up to a citadel. That's definitely a thing that's going to need to happen. We're arriving in Waga now, so we'll be able to see where this goes in just a moment. That's looking great. And I do want to continue to reinforce this fleet. It's not at full strength yet. Noted. It will get there quite soon. So the ISS Clever Clam is idle. We have found that this goes to Comb in the Hyran Pious Nation. Okay, that is definitely a location that we want to build a defense platform at. So we're going to need to wait for some alloys. And I do want to get this science ship moving up to Azeroth. It'll take us a little bit to get there, but we'll go on hyper relays the whole way. That's not too bad. So let's get this guy upgrading. There we go. And I do want to check in on the tidal wave. Yeah, we still need a few additional alloys here. What's the price on alloys right now? It's reasonably low. I'm going to buy in 1250, and we're going to use that to max the rest of that out. Perfect. So the Wheat Baril Starbase needs to continue to be upgraded. That is absolutely expected. And how are we doing on minor artifacts? What's our cap on that? 5,000? Okay. That is absolutely noted for the moment. So that looks fine. We are, of course, working on the Markaz station for these defense platforms. We're full on minerals right now. Let's sell off a few of those. And the price on alloys is actually quite low. Let's buy in 2,500 while we can. Refugees have come in. That's great. And we can also work on something like... I mean, this is society research. It's not the biggest of deals. Edict Fund would be reasonably okay. We are maxed out on all of our unity here. We can start working on world dissensions. And that's definitely something we can do. So that sounds good. Let's upgrade Radar Station Alpha to higher level ascension tiers. And this will get steadily more and more and more expensive. This is not shocking. This is just where we're going to be putting our unity for the time being. So we do need a job here as well, and let's put that into an advanced research complex. On Targon Prime, we have a fair number of building slots open. Noted. We do need a job here, and this is a factory world. Okay, so the Storm Summoning Theater is fine. We could put in something like an Astral Siphon to get ourselves more Astral Thread capacity. That's not a terrible idea, actually. I'm going to do that for right now. Now, Moscot Prime here, we definitely could use a planetary administration upgrade on. That looks good. Astinda Prime, this is set up as a mining world. Do we actually want it to be that? It doesn't have to be. We could make this be an industrial world instead, and I'm leaning towards that for right now. So that looks good. The ISS Wave Skimmer 2 is down in Piscus, and we absolutely want to go build a hyper relay in Dorelion. So we'll get that going. Our hyper relay network is very nearly complete. So that looks wonderful. Now, the next question, of course, is where does this wormhole go? That is going to be important information, and we will figure that out soon enough. So we'll figure out if we need to have a defensive platform here or not. Where is our science chip? Okay, there it is. It's definitely making its way up there fairly quickly. Okay, so our Minister of Defense could use... I guess we could go for army damage here. They are in charge of our transport fleet. And let's gain ourselves our physics insight and astral boost now that we can. Beautiful. Any way we slice it, here we're going to get society research, or we could get engineering research. What are we lowest on? We're lowest on engineering, so just mash all the buttons. Cool. The ISS Wave Skimmer 3 is idle. Let's go build a hyper relay in Freedar, but we're actually lacking rare crystals for that. Remarkably.
Research complete.
Okay, let's buy in 500 rare crystals. That'll be fine for now. And we'll build a hyper relay there. So, encryption, sure. Let's grab, say, particle lances. I guess that's fine. We must be getting awful close to this wormhole, right? Yeah, we're very, very close here. So let's grab this wormhole and figure out where this goes. Once we know that, then we can start working on potentially the station here. Okay, so where does that go? Ooh, that goes into the Mullernach Star Corp. Okay, so that is definitely a location that we want to build a defensive station on. Sounds good. So from here, I want to head all the way back to here. Now, that's actually not going to be that far of a journey, so that looks relatively good.
Handshake protocols activated.
Research agreement. No, we are definitely not doing that. So the Wagga 1 station is about to be upgraded.
Construction
or
complete.
Wagga A station, I should say. We'll continue to upgrade that. We have an archaeological site pending here. That looks fine. We're getting kind of close to being full on minor artifacts, and that is definitely noted. We do need to continue to pour resources into our Fire Coral class defense platforms. We're going to have, looks like, 27 of these, 28, something like that at this point. So we're about half done with the Markaz station queue up. So that looks good. We are, of course, still working on some of these up over here, although this one is a little bit weaker. This is probably just due to being like a pulsar or something like that. So if we look at Rakaron down over here and we look at the star type, that's a Class M star. Okay. So why is this a little bit lower in terms of its power level? The primary difference here, from what I can see, if we unminimize that, the primary difference here is that both of these are around a planet, but so is this one. This one has access to the army builder as well. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. It's probably just due to the territory it's in. Okay, let's build a hyper relay up in Pennick. That'll be fine. And we are, of course, pretty much flat out of alloys at this moment. But this is a much better situation for us. Our fleets are going to need to be expanded for sure. How long until we have access to Titans? 13 months. So that is much, much closer now. That looks wonderful. So we are absolutely delighted by that. Any jobs that need to be done? Well, we'll find out after this autosave. There we go. What do we got going on up here? So this Forge World, it requires a fair amount of housing. And by a fair amount, I mean one. So that's understood. This is probably just due to the devastation. Let's put it in an industrial district and call it a day. Talon Secundus here definitely needs housing. This is indeed a mining world, and it does have benefits for that. So let's go ahead and put in a mining district. We're lacking a mineral processing plant there, but we'll get that with the next building slot. Okay, that all looks phenomenal. So as I said before, we're incredibly close to getting all of these hyperlane transit routes finished up. That's really, really good. We're very, very close to that. We're not quite there yet, and I don't think we're going to get them all done this episode, but it's really close. So we'll be able to get around our empire reasonably quickly, assuming that we don't path around storms in crazy ways. That's going to be a potential problem for sure. But there's not a lot going on at this exact moment, so that is fine. I do want to grab the physics research in Unity that's on the map here, the physics research here, and we do have a number of locations that still need to be worked on, right? We need to survey Valis, there's a Gaia world in there, and we would definitely like to get that set up. No doubt about that. What's the price on alloys right now? Quite low. I'm going to buy 2,500 of them. Beautiful. We're going to keep those around for now because we're going to need to spend some of them on some of these starbase upgrades. Okay, a particle storm has been detected. That is absolutely fine. And we're going to have this starhold be done soon enough. Cool. So that all seems reasonably fine for now. We're still working on bulking up our defenses and getting our transit routes done, which again is a defensive situation, right? We're attempting to defend ourselves through these transit lanes. And I would like to go get this gateway linked in as well. We're probably still going to build a separate gateway in each of these locations that we have a defensive station in. Or maybe in the system just behind them. That might be a better way to go about it. Maybe. It's an interesting thought, for sure. But we're going to head into Sau here and definitely get that going.
Handshake
The Radiant Storm up here, I believe, is ending. Migration Treaty Proposal, we have to decline that for the time being. And that is all fine for now. We do have a trade available for the leader of the Tsunami Fleet, and we are absolutely taking Admiral there. Perfect. Now, our fleets are not tremendously powerful at this moment, and that is certainly a bit of a problem. We would definitely like to do something about that. We can upgrade this guy to a Star Fortress. Let's get that going. And we want to get all of these upgraded up to Citadels, and we're still working on getting these defense platforms brought in over here. So let's go ahead and get a lot of that going. Excellent. That'll be fine. And we are eventually going to be maxing out our minor artifacts. We're a ways away on that, but we could go through and queue up these ancient ramparts, which I think we're going to do fairly soon here. This archaeological site is actually continuing. Okay, that sounds good. For a second there, I thought it was done, but no. Okay, sounds great. It is time to put a cut in here. Before we do that, I'm going to get the wave skimmer heading down to Eliathian, and we'll get that going. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy Magar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Hiro Marutsu, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.